Hey, man, it's Dukes and Bell. Again, happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody. It's Tuesday, the day before Christmas Eve. Hope you got all your shopping done. Big shout out as we get things started on the Behind the Curtain show here. Day-Day's back, by the way, from his getaway. I'm sure we'll find out more about that as we get on the show today. But big shout out as we start to Bijan Robinson and Chris Lindstrom. They've been named to the Pro Bowl. And as bad as things have been for our team and the ups and downs this season, as Mike and I continue to talk about, there are bright spots. There are things that have you excited about the future. And as I said over the weekend, there's nothing more exciting for me than what Bijan brings. So, Mike, let's spend a little time here on these guys, because for Bijan, he's getting recognized now as one of the best players in the league, right? I think it's his second. I think Chris Lindstrom is his fourth Pro Bowl selection. And so Lindstrom, look, they paid him. And it's been worth it. He's one of the best guards in the league. So when you talk about these two guys, and Lindstrom's still in his prime. I mean, he's not a guy that's over 30 yet. So this thing is still got a lot of growth. But what do you make of Bijan and Lindstrom making the Pro Bowl, man?
Yeah, man, I think Bergeron's just a tick behind. I think a lot of this is on reputation, and Lindstrom has established himself, and he has been that guy. Any problems we've had, I mean, you saw it at times when, before Arizona's line got injured, trouble was with Newsel. That's the guy. That's another conversation. But Lindstrom has been the gold standard. Yes, over the course of a season, he will get beat up by this guy or that guy, Derek Brown, etc. But he has been, one of the best players at the position. You already touched on Bijan. He is everything you want. He's the Saquon. He's McCaffrey. He's that guy. And then you throw it on the other side just for the argument of what this team is, because we had the discussion yesterday. We have enough stuff. I mean, No, we have enough talent to win this division. We're better than Carolina. We got a better roster than the Carolina Panthers, who are probably going to win this division. So, yes, these guys are rock stars. And I think next year we might be talking about one or two of our defensive linemen being Pro Bowlers.
I agree. Day-Day, what's your take, man? I mean, look, does this give you a little bit of hope when you see these guys being recognized?
Yeah, I mean, and if we're quite honest, I mean, it could have very well been 3 had Drake London not gone down with injury. I mean, he was, getting really close to knocking on that door to reaching 1,000 receiving yards. So yeah, it definitely gives hope to the fact that I think we all knew the talent was there. It's just a matter of when can this team finally bring it all together. And it's just unfortunate the way things went down this season with, first with Michael Penix just seemingly not being able to get a grasp on the offense, and then he goes down to injury, and it is what it is. But yeah, hats off to Lindstrom, hats off to Bijan. I mean, obviously, you can't deny. I mean, Bijan probably put the cap. This is what they say, sealed the deal with his performance this past weekend. And then Lindstrom, he's been Mr. Reliable, Mr. Reliable on that front. So.
All right, man. We're going to talk plenty about the Falcons today as we get ready for a huge Monday night matchup. It's kind of a disjointed week because Christmas being in the middle of it, and then obviously we don't play on Sunday. Mike and I are working next week. Obviously, we'll be at Signia 2 to 4 on Monday, getting you ready for all the pregame coverage for the Falcons and Rams. And then we're back Tuesday, and then obviously leading into the new year, we'll have a couple of days off. But at the end of the day, man, I feel like everybody's talking about what they want to do. What do you want to do? And as you say that and answer that, I got to go answer my door. I'll be right back. What do you want to do?
What do you want to do, Day-Day? What do you want to do? Because you're off. Yeah, I was bloviating yesterday. You were in Denver. What do you want to do? And thanks for bringing party favors back. Hope you packed some cool stuff from Denver.
I'm so torn, Mike. There's a part of me that, I feel the fan base that says, Rod deserves that third year, because I am of the mindset that it's just the microwave society calls for instant results. And I just don't think in the professional sports world, I just don't think you can get the instant results that some of these teams or the fan bases want without a true window of opportunity to really to change things. And just, is 2 years realistically enough? So there is the part of me that says, no, give Rod that third year, see if he really can fix this thing. But then on the other side, I feel the other side of the fan base. Rod, you made some bad hires with your coordinators throughout the year. You just had all these different things that were a result of bad coaching. So I don't know what I want, and that's the sad part. I just don't know anymore.
Well, the thing is, look, my point about the 2 years and getting the full 3 years, that don't fly no more for me in the NFL. You know, when you're making the kind of mistakes that he's making, I think our audience forgets this man has been a head coach. He has been in the NFL for two and a half decades. So, I mean, to make the clock management mistakes that he's made last year and this year, the hiring problems you talked about, Jimmy Lake had to be fired. We can debate whether Zach is a good or effective offensive coordinator for a first-year, quarterback, and now into his second year. So to me, you should have had all your ducks in a row for your second chance at the gold ring or the brass ring. Everybody lobbied for him to get this chance, and for my money, he's blown it. So I get that. Yes, you used to get 3 or 4 years, and Arthur Smith I don't care. It means nothing to me. I say tie it off or rip the Band-Aid off now because I see things that I don't think are going to change. They're not going to get this. This is as good as it gets with this staff, in my mind.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Daddy. Go ahead, Daddy.
No.
Go ahead.
No. Well, I was just gonna say, but then with the problem and the reason I say I don't know what I want, because the reality of it is, if we're going to bring in a new head coach, right? With everything that's going on player personnel wise, this team still isn't necessarily going to be set up for a lot of success next season.
But we were 6-3. We were 6-3. We were going to the playoffs last year when Cousins got hurt. We got 2 Pro Bowlers. We got a young defense. We got 3 studs. Brandon Dorless just set the team record for interior linemen with sacks. Yes, it's a bad year for A.J. Terrell. We've dealt with some injuries at wide receiver, but everybody in the NFL is dealing with injuries. We had a 5-game losing streak where we lost the division. I mean, I saw enough of that crap with Dan Quinn. To me, Raheem is Dan Quinn light. That's it. I'll say it again. Raheem is when Dan Quinn things weren't working, that's what Raheem is. So I've seen enough, and I get it, Day. The last thing Arthur Blank wants is to try to find this coach because it's hard. It's hard to find the right coach. But he did find the right coach in Mike Smith. We, as Carl says, 2012 was a great team. We missed our window. We blew it. And then Dan Quinn got us 5 minutes away from the Super Bowl championship. And then things went downhill. But to say Arthur Blank can't find the right coaches, I think that's unfair. He has gotten the right coaches, but when it goes south, he holds on to them too long.
So for me, guys, and we'll get into this deeper today because it is the most interesting thing about where we're at as a football team. A bunch of these players are going to be back next year. 1, they're under contract. 2, a lot of these guys have proven they deserve an opportunity. Hopefully we move on from the bums and the guys that haven't helped us, plain and simple. But I think this is a one-question deal. And if you're watching us right now, or if you're a Falcon fan, this is what you have to ask yourself. Is Raheem Morris truly a head coach? And what I mean by that is all these guys get opportunities. You see it with Ben Johnson in Chicago. You see it with Liam Cohen in Jacksonville. You get opportunities. The one thing everybody talks about in the NFL is, yeah, great X and O guy, knows the game, blah, blah, blah. The one thing you have to learn is, are they truly head coaches? Dan Campbell came in, all the hoopla, the rah-rah, machismo bullshit. Everybody laughed, including me. He's a pretty good damn head coach. Now, with that said, I think you have to ask yourself, is Raheem truly a head coach? And if you don't believe that he is, then you move on. If you think that he is, Day, and you're on the fence like many Falcon fans are, then you say, all right, he is a head coach. Some things didn't go his way, and you bring him back. But understand, if you do that, this fan base is going to be on edge. The first mistake of the season, the first bad loss next year, it just escalates. We are going to go through an offseason where fans are going to be uneasy. And then as soon as we get to the regular season next year, regardless of what happens in the offseason, everybody's waiting for Raheem to screw this up. And that is the risk that Arthur Blank is going to take. Right now, I don't believe he's a head coach. I think he's a hell of an assistant. I think he's a really good defensive coach. I don't think he's a head coach. And there are a lot of things that play into that. So if you can't answer that question and say, yeah, for sure, he's a good head coach, then you're fooling yourself. That's where I'm at on this, guys. It's Dukes and Bell. It's our Behind the Curtain show. We got to give a shout out to the Hawks, Mike. We got into this yesterday at the end of the show. I think we'll talk more about it today because we're coming off the weekend. And Dede, I know you were out, but you saw this. I think you were on the text thread as well. They score 150 points and lose. They scored 150 and lose the other night, Mike.
And they've done that twice under Quinn Snyder. They've done that twice under Quinn Snyder. Now, when you were on your 8-month sojourn around Europe in 90 days, I was saying when Trey comes back, we've got to see Quinn Snyder mesh this thing because, and you said it yesterday on the program. You know, it's time to see Quinn Snyder step up and earn that loot. You know, everyone talking about what a great coach job he did in Utah. This is the best squad he's had, 1 through 10 or however you want to look at it, since he's gotten here. And now the defensive thing, we played the soundbite on the show of Nate McMillan. We didn't play defense. And this is, criminal. The Bulls scored nearly 31 points over their season average. To score 150 and lose at home, that's insane. They got to tighten that up. And I got a name, man. A couple of listeners brought this up yesterday on the text line, Day while you were out, saying, Mike Malone's out there. How about some tough love? How about a shock to the system? Maybe, I don't know if that. And by the way, I don't think Trey has all the leverage to be upset about a new coach anyway at this stage.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the one thing that jumped out to me about that game, to your point about them scoring 150. Look, both Trey and Jalen Johnson, played well, both over 30 points. The biggest difference was every player on the Bulls scored.
That's right.
They had 11 players play. 11 of them, all 11 scored, and 9 of the 11 reached double figures. So, I don't know that, there was much more. Sure, like you said, they didn't play defense. But if we're honest, neither team played defense in that one. It's just that the Bulls were able to get a little more help. But, it is going to be I don't know what the grace period should be as far as Trey coming back and seeing if he measures, because he didn't play in the second game that he was back. He took that one off. He didn't play in that second game. So, and he was limited, I think, 20 minutes in his first game. So I don't know what the grace period is for fans as far as what they, when they want to see this thing start to click. But me personally, I'm thinking maybe, look, by the end of next week, after we get through Christmas, the holidays, I think there should have been enough time for him to have been reintegrated into the system and this thing start to turn around.
Look, the grace period for me is with Quinn Snyder. First of all, he should have did more with less when his team wasn't as talented. That's what great coaches do. We didn't do that. We underachieved. Now, people want to say we're in the play-in. That's not overachieving. That's not doing more with less. Now he's got a better team, and I don't know why this defense isn't better. Overall, Dyson Daniels as an individual defender, Na as an individual defender, and Nikhil, they're great. But why isn't this team concept and defense better? Yeah. So that is my issue right now with Quinn. There's no grace with Quinn Snyder. Quinn, it's time to do whatever the hell you need to do, Mike. It's time for you to if you got some special schemes that you've been holding out on because, we don't have the big guys or whatever, it's time to draw that up and start playing like that.
And because there's so much focus on the Falcons, and the Braves last year, the Hawks don't get the heat. And I'm sorry, Quinn Snyder, you're not Mike Krzyzewski. You may have played for him, but this Duke attitude of your stuff don't stink and I can't answer tough questions. It doesn't want to be pushed. Well, take a get ready pill, pal, because the seat's going to get hot. This team is not in the playoffs or in the play-in, and there's too much friggin' talent. Trey's back. Figure it out. That's your job.
No doubt, man. And again, we are going to transition as we get into January, certainly into February, more Hawks conversation, guys. And look, regardless of what happens with the Falcons, and we're telling you this now, but we'll tell you in January, February as well. This offseason for the Falcons is big. We're going to find out Black Monday, the day after the season's over, whether this coach is going to be here. There's no waiting on that, okay? So everybody's like, they'll wait to do it. You don't wait. If you know right now Raheem's gone, that will be announced Monday as soon as the season's over.
Yeah, there's no monkeying around. Right.
Yeah, you've got to get on who your new guy is going to be. If he's going to be here, you also need to announce that so you give everybody the information they need to say, okay, now how do we adjust? Mike is the coordinator here, special teams coordinator, etc.
Right.
Those moves are going to be made here within the next 2 weeks. So once that stuff happens, guys, then this thing starts to roll, Mike. And now we're into an interesting offseason as to how the hell do we get better and how do you fix this quarterback situation?
Right. And that's the thing, like I said, is Terry Fontenot coming back? Are they going to split the difference? Is the coach going to get got? Fontenot stays. Does the coach stay? Offensive coordinator, special teams. Look, the Rams just fired their special teams coach with 2 weeks left of the freaking season.
I love it, man.
They've got a standard.
They're serious.
But that goes back to our initial discussion about, Raheem and why he needs to go. One team has accountability, one doesn't. And that's as easy to see as it's plain in broad daylight. But then we don't know until the season's over. And but it's fool's gold to say, we beat the Cardinals. It's fool's gold, man. It's a bad team. And you still had to sweat the last possession. We don't apologize for victories, but somehow that makes you forget about the 5-game losing streak and losing 7 out of 10 to games like the Jets.
Yeah. Well, you guys, maybe we can talk about this on the show because I'll ask you this and give you guys time to think about it so we can talk about it on the show today. But if a decision on Ra has been made already, does that mean Terry Fontenot is coming back? Because who's bringing in the new head coach?
If decision has been made, yeah. If that decision has been made, yes, I would believe that's the case. But it's something we'll talk about. By the way, we hadn't mentioned this yet, but we are at Metro Bottle today, Marietta Boulevard. All right. And it's 2225, I believe the physical address is 2225.
Kind of like Midtown West. Yeah, in between like that triangle between 285.
Me money to get bottles today, guys. I'm shopping.
Hey, and Carl and I, we said if we're in the commercial break, hopefully we have a chance to. Carl and I, we're big bourbon and rye guys. Their tequila, their selection's insane. They get all my favorite beers too. So as we said to Carl yesterday, I lose money on this appearance at Metro Bottle today, 2-6.
Yeah, I don't need any more bourbon. I've got enough, but I will tell you, I love window shopping that way. I love looking and seeing all the things that they have. And they got some selections, by the way, that I'm just telling you, I've been all over the place. And they had some stuff that you can't find other places. So that's really cool too, to have some unique stuff. All right, man, we'll be there 2 to 6 today. Come on through. Metro Bottle. Everybody's back today, and we look forward to talking with you guys here on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. Thanks for being here, guys.